Leave it at that.
Sorry. I don't want to have any more like serious. I'm not like I support both of you, but I'm just like.
Look, no one divorce papers. Let it die tonight.
You do have.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Legs, and I would greatly appreciate it if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, if you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. As promised, today we are going to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 14, After Party. And on this After Party, we had Ikechi, Michelle, and Carla. So I feel like they dropped a few little interesting nuggets and gave a little bit of extra context to the show. As we know, this show is hosted by Keisha Knight Pulliam. Let's jump into it. So we start off with Carla and we talk a little bit about the reading that she and Juan had. Oh, and pause. If you have not watched my episode 14 recap, stop this video, go over there, check that video out first, and then come back here and watch this after party video, okay? Okay, now, Carla discusses a little bit more about the reading that she and Juan had. You know, Keisha's asking some questions, and she asks, hey, did Juan say anything after the reading? Obviously, it didn't really seem like he was that into it. And Carla's like, look, let's be for real. Juan's brother is very, very into tarot. He even offered to do my birth chart. So I found it a bit weird that Juan went to his friend and said, oh, that's not my thing. I don't do that, blah, 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 blah. Now, I will say this, just because somebody's family members are into something does not necessarily mean they are into it. But the way Juan was kind of phrasing it did give vibes like, oh, that's not what I do. We don't do that where I'm from. And obviously, to hear that his brother is very much into tarot reading, it is very interesting. So once again, she does talk about how she sees on both sides how one of them pulls away and then the other follows, blah, blah, blah. So on the visit with Dr. Pia, talking about how Juan said he didn't really feel romantic feelings, Carla says that she is naturally more affectionate. So she did feel those feelings at this time. Keisha's like, so he said he didn't feel it, but did you feel it? And Carla does admit that she was feeling those feelings, but over time, due to kind of his energy, the lack of opening up, she definitely feels the distance, the barrier between them. Now she does not really feel comfortable to be vulnerable and open with Juan. So those feelings have kind of come back inside now. And you can see that, and I've said that even in the recaps that, I'm gonna be honest, Carla doesn't give that she likes him much either. It's not giving on either side that either one is particularly invested in being with the other one, but I think they are just the most willing to ride it out and at least pretend that they are. So, you know, overall, Carla does realize this is the friend zone. Keisha's like, so do you see that this is the friend zone? And she realizes it because she does say that if a man likes you, he's gonna come for you. And I definitely agree with that. If a man likes you, he's gonna show you he likes you. He's gonna wanna court you. Even when it comes to the tarot stuff, even if you're not into it yourself, if Juan really was feeling Carla like that, he would have went with it. You know, he would have pretended to be with it because that's what you do when you like somebody. So it's not giving that he likes her, and Carla admits on her side that because he's not feeling her, she's not feeling him either. Emem, I don't know. Now y'all came in the comments said that I might be saying her name wrong, so now I'm self-conscious. Emem, girl, take some cues from Carla. When the man shows you he doesn't like you, go away. So we jump onto Ikechi and we discuss the scene where he tells Dr. Pia and that he has reached his breaking point. I remember that very interesting scene where Ikechi went from 0 to 100 and not one person in the room understood what was going on.
And very confusing. For anyone outside of your head, this don't make sense.
It didn't make sense to me.
So, well then, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it was more of a.
So Keisha asks Ikechi, how does it feel to watch it back? And he says that he saw his inability to express how he was feeling. At the time, he just wanted to simply say that he wanted to leave and he didn't want to be in the marriage. But I guess because of everything that was going on and the crazy, overwhelming situation he was in, he couldn't say that for some reason. So Keisha asks Okay. But we saw on the show afterwards that you asked to go to the arcade. So if you weren't feeling her, what is that? You know, he's like, oh, I was so tired and delirious. He doesn't answer the question as usual. He's like, I was so tired, I was so delirious. And it's like, Ikechi, cut the BS. Cut the BS, because why did you ask that girl to go to the arcade with you? We know why. I already broke down and analyzed exactly what Ikechi was doing in my recap video. But he claims that he was just so out of it because, again, apparently this conversation was just so daunting and so unbearable that he didn't know what he was saying. So Keisha tries to break down to Ikechi, these are mixed messages. You do realize that what you're doing is giving a mixed signal, and it doesn't make sense to any of us. Ikechi, sarcastically, well, it makes sense to me. And Keisha's like, that's the point I'm trying to make. That's literally the point we're trying to make here. That it only makes sense to you. This man always has some bite for somebody. He's always snapping at someone. Oh my Lord. So Michelle chimes in and says, look, Emam wants specific examples, okay? You come to her, you say that she's doing these things, the communication's hard, it's overbearing, but she does not get it. Ikechi remarks back. He says, okay, imagine with you and David, you know, you guys aren't on the best terms. Imagine if David was trying to constantly hump you and trying to be sexual with you all the time.
Like, yo, like, we just met.
Yeah.
Like, there was a spark in the beginning, a comfortability in the beginning, and it was good. But like at the honeymoon, the over-sex thing,
you would feel uncomfortable. And again, I don't want to discredit if it is true that Ikechi, for whatever reason, did feel sexually violated, because that is very serious, and I really don't want to discredit that. The problem that we have here is that even when the experts asked Ikechi to go in depth, even when Dr. Pia was in the conversation they originally had, when Dr. Pia was like, so you're saying she violated you, she forced herself on you. Ikechi himself said, no, I don't mean it like that. So it's like, again, you keep coming back to this. She was so sexual with me and she was forcing herself to have sex. And the reality is we haven't seen it. But it just sounds like you're making some shit up, and you are the one that has even went back on your words. So I don't know. So Ikechi claims once again that on the honeymoon, was overly sexual, and that he doesn't really feel like he wants to walk into a space immediately and just talk about sex. And again, such a defamatory thing to say, to act like this woman is some hoe. And she's just thirsty, trying to get all over you. It's insanity. It's insanity, and I hate the way that he is doing this to her and painting this picture of her when, again, as I said, he himself has walked back on those words. Okay. So Keisha's like, look, I'm gonna explain something to you. When you asked to go to the arcade, it caused false hope for her because she does not want to be done completely. She expressed that to you in the conversation. We saw the conversation on the show where she said she would like to still be in this marriage. And you know this. So doing that is going to make her think there's a glimmer of hope. And he's like, well, okay, how many times can I say I'm done before it makes sense? And it's like, Ikechi, this is the problem. I clocked this. Many others have clocked this. Keisha's clocking this. You have this thing where you are hot and cold. One second you're saying, I don't want to be near her. The next second you're saying, oh, I'll text you every morning and night. And then you don't do it. One second you're saying, oh my goodness, I have no desire to continue. And then you're asking her to go to the arcade. And then when people ask you, so why'd you do that? Oh, because I was delirious. Ikechi, it does not make sense. And obviously, us with two eyes, we can see that this man does not like her, okay? I want to be very clear. Again, Ikechi's doing this to gain power, to maintain power, to make it seem like he's the one in control. But at the end of the day, you have to understand how would feel some type of way. And I hate the fact that Ikechi can talk all about the things she does wrong, but can't come and ever say something about the things he does. Oh, child. So the girls are once again trying to explain to her, Carla and Michelle are both trying to explain to Ikechi that she's romanticizing this, that she really does want something and she's been looking for something specific. And Ikechi once again claps back, bites back with, that's not on me. Oh, I hate this man. I hate this man. Alrighty. On to Michelle. So Keisha asks Michelle straight up, how do you feel about David admitting the message? Michelle's like, it was obvious. It was very clearly obvious. I knew that. We knew that. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. True. I agree with that. You know, she knew that Denise would call David to fill him in on what went on. So she's not surprised at that or upset that Michelle or that Denise called David to let her know that Michelle had called her. So once again, Michelle reiterates that infidelity really hits home for her. Her parents divorced. We not going into it again. So Keisha's like, Carla, how do you feel about all of this? You know, watching this back and seeing what happened with David and Michelle. And Carla says something a little sus. I ain't gonna hold you. Carla was like, look, I know that things have been rocky between the two of you guys. I don't want this to come off some type of way, but I do understand David looking elsewhere. And I was like, Carla, no. We are not condoning cheating. I do not care how Michelle was treating David. Because let me get my words together. David is the one who was saying this relationship was a thing. I feel like if you ask Michelle, she would say, oh no, I'm just doing this thing. David is the main one that kept acting like everything's okay. I'm still in this. I will wait for her. So it's even more sour for him to be the one to then be doing this. We are not condoning cheating, Carla. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But she claims she does not want to be insensitive. Now, Keisha's like, okay, or Carla, sorry, she says, I don't know how I'd act if I was being rejected like that. Carla. Didn't like that answer. And you guys already know, I don't care. I do not think David is in the right for this. I understand that Michelle is a demon too, okay? But at the end of the day, you are grown, you have two legs and you have a mouth. You could say, hey, I don't want to be in this anymore. I'm going to go talk to somebody who wants to be with me. And y'all already know, I think it's Madison, and that's the reason why he's not just coming clean and admitting it, because Madison is in a marriage as well. But honestly, I just don't condone it. I don't condone what David did. So back to Ikechi. We touch on the scene where he presented Emem the divorce paper, the one singular divorce paper in the green folder.
I thought that was so silly for you to like show up. That was like silly as what it seemed like is you were there to embarrass.
So he claims that he came to conclude everything and put a period at the end of the sentence. Now he says, as soon as she blew up, I had to leave. Notice the language, blew up. When did MM blow up? When did she blow up? Can somebody roll the tape back and show me where MM blew up? This man is always using such aggressive language to describe this woman. For you to be a woke black Kang like you swear you are, you sure don't know that it is harmful, extremely harmful, to use such language against a dark-skinned black woman. Words to imply that she is angry, aggressive, all of the things that they try to place on us. To imply that we're not soft. To imply that we're just these hoes just trying to tear a man apart. And if you were such a conscious black man like you swear you are, Ikechi, you would cut the BS and stop using that language to describe this woman. Yes, is Emem forward? Absolutely, she's forward. But just because someone's forward does not make them this aggressive, angry, ticking time bomb the way you want to act like she is. oh, I don't like this man. I hope this is the last time we see this man on this show. Because I'm getting entirely too upset about it. So Carla straight up is like, it was silly as fuck for you to do this. You know that you were coming just to embarrass her, and this was ridiculous and had no use. Thank you, Carla. Something you said with sense today, because I'm still remembering them David comments you made. Now, Keisha says, look, you have to realize the energy that you brought into the room and the demeanor. Michelle brings up how he's sitting in the back in the corner. Remember, he was like, you know, very upset. And he says, once again, I couldn't sit at the table. I have a shellfish allergy. Okay, whatever. If he has an allergy, I get it. But still, you're like this all the time. It'd be one thing if it was just this particular moment where you stood back, but you're like this every single time. Whenever you're around MM, whenever you're around the group, this is how you act. So Keisha is like, this is the do-over segment. Ikechi, if you could do something different, what would you do? He claims he would not have even came in the first place. He said he would have had someone else do it and he wouldn't have been there. No self-reflection whatsoever. As Tom said at the table, it's always about everybody else and what they're doing wrong, but never does this man say, maybe I could have been a little less harsh. Maybe I could have made sure I came prepared at least with all of the papers and the divorce documents. Never, not an ounce of self-reflection. Ladies, stay away from this man. If you live in Chicago or Houston or wherever he is, because this man is a country, he's a nationwide traveler. Stay away from this man. If you see him on your Hinge, your Bumble, your Tinder, stay away from this man, please. All right, and lastly, we end off this episode with Michelle bringing up the text message at the couples retreat.
And then like she gets up and I'm just like, it was hurtful. Like, I'm like, why can't I speak my truth?
Could it be she's upset because
I'm talking about her man?
So Keisha points out, Madison looked a bit upset when she got up. What you think that was all about? So Michelle feels that she listened to Alan and Madison's problems all day, you know, was there for her, tried to have her back. And then Madison, when she started talking about her problems with David, all of a sudden she was just shut down and she didn't want to be a part of it. And again, hey, feel how you want about Michelle. I do think that was very sus. As soon as it started turning to them, all of a sudden Madison is acting all kinds of weird. Girl, the guilt is eating you alive. Okay, I was talking about this show with my husband and I was like, that's what internalized guilt does to you. No one was pointing to you. No one was looking at you. No one accused you of anything, but that guilt is bubbling up inside of you and that's why you gotta get out. So Keisha's like, could it be because? And Michelle said, I'm talking about her man. Michelle knows it. Michelle knows it. So Carla says, look, I was out with Madison and David the night that the text was sent, and they disappeared for around 25 minutes.
So we're dancing, we're all having a good time, and then all of a sudden, I'm by myself, and I was like, wait, like, what's going on? Like, where did they go?
How long did they disappear for?
It was the three of us, and then all of a sudden they disappeared for around 5-6 songs and they went onto the dance floor. But when they came back, they claimed it was because Madison's phone was lost. So I don't know where they went. I don't know what they were doing. And I did not see where they were, but they surely were alone for at least the length of 5 songs, just like 25, 30 minutes. And remember, Madison did bring up the story about the lost phone as well. So again, whether they corroborated this lost phone story, who knows? But Carla does verify that they were alone together. So we shall see, y'all. Anyway, this is the end of this episode. I have had enough of these people. I have had enough of Ikechi, Michelle, shoot, even Madison and David. Get them out. Get them all out of my face. It's too much. But if you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate if you support the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. And as I said, if for some reason you still watch this one all the way through and you did not watch the episode 14 recap video, definitely go to my channel and watch that. I have a Married at First Sight playlist and the video should be right there. Thank you so much and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!